All right. Welcome, everybody. Today is Sunday, October the 11th, and we are here for another Tiff Talks episode. You guys that have been rocking with us, we appreciate you guys. We're actually in our sixth episode of our empowerment series. And this has been a dynamic series that has impacted so many people that it's surprising that we've made it to number six already. And remember, it's a seven-part series, so we are near the end, but with just as much commentary and just as much goodwill to bring and present to you guys. I, for one, am so excited about today because, of course, I get to rest, but also to be able to present this particular topic in a light that I feel will be impactful for both men and women. So me, for those of you that are new to this platform, my name is Tiffany. I am a social worker by trade. I've worked in social services for a very long time. And in doing that, I've just found myself in a position where I've had so much more to give outside of my 9 to 5. And in doing so, this platform, Tiff Talks, was created in order to talk about and really bring to light and bring awareness to topics that we are pretty much already talking about amongst ourselves, amongst our community, amongst our peer groups, and to really just empower each other. And with that, this particular series that myself, along with my team, came about with wanting to share with you guys was our own take of empowerment. And 2020 has been a year for us all, and we could all use some empowerment. So we have been focusing on for the last past month and a half or so on empowerment and different aspects of empowerment. We started off by talking about empowerment in regards to your own purpose. We transitioned into being able to talk about alignment. We talked about vulnerability as it relates to empowerment, and even really talking about and tackling the collateral beauty that comes along with empowerment. Our last episode with talk guest Brandon Walker was another awesome show where we talked about elevation and experience and exposure. And today I am so excited to get down to the nitty gritty and present to you guys this episode that's really going to talk about the detailed specifics of empowerment. As we know, empowerment, it varies across the board. Everyone's journey is different. And that journey goes across not just social economic class, not just across culture, not just across individual from individual, but also across gender. And today we will be talking about empowerment as it relates to the Black man experience. And I am excited, and my team is excited to present to you guys today Tiff Talks the Black man experience as it relates to empowerment. And I, for one, am happy to just be a part of the audience today, and allow a talk partner, Kenneth Parker, to take the lead. So I am going to scoot on out the way and be a part of the conversation like you guys, and allow him to step in as talk host. And you guys make sure that you continue to like, share, and comment this feed, because it's going to be something that you do not want to miss, and something that you do not want to allow yourself or anyone else to miss out on.
How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? My name is Ken Parker. I am one of Tiff Talks um host. I'm taking over the host today. I'm a husband. I'm a partner. I'm her everything, best friend. We rocked a long way. I got two awesome guests with me here today. My brothers. We're gonna tackle this. Um, I want to say sensitive subject, but it's something that needs to be discussed. Um, every time you talk about anything dealing with the black man, everybody get kind of offensive or have something to say. But we're gonna add out today. We don't want to be eternal, but we want to be effective when we dropping these gems of knowledge on y'all. So I would like my brothers to go ahead and introduce themselves to get them acquainted with the audience.
Hello, everyone. I am Devron Zeno. I'm a Houstonian, born and raised in the third ward community. I'm also a father, a husband. Um, I received all of my education from Houston. I graduated from Texas Southern University, historically Black college. As far as this topic, I've been looking forward um, to talking about this just because it's just near and dear to my heart. So I'm glad I can share the platform with you all as well. I think this it should be fun, man. I think people are in for a treat.
Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Rodney James. Same as Devron. I'm a Houstonian, fellow Houstonian from the Third Ward area. I like to say I got my education from a lot of places, even outside of here. But uh, I also have my own nonprofit that I do here in Houston, as well as some other entrepreneurial businesses or whatever. But like he said, we've been touching on this topic, maybe in private for a while, and I'm happy to be a part of something that's being put out there. Glad to join you guys.
Nice.
All right now. So we're gonna jump right into this thing, man. Get it going, get it started. Like I said, we don't want to be eternal. We want to be effective, you know. So, I'm gonna start out by saying about being empowered. With my experience with empowerment, I want to say is I've always been believe in working smarter, not harder. And you know they don't want the black man to be smart anyway. So there's always an issue when you think smarter than them. But I've always, took on that mantra and try to find the best ways to better myself and be a better person in anything I do, husband, worker, whatever. So I take upon myself to, if I don't know, I will find the best way, the best method, the best, however I need to. I will do the best I can when I can. If I, as long as I can put my hands on it and touch it, I'm gonna figure it out. And it's just how I am. So within like reason, within work, I don't try to step on toes or try to do anything outside of what I, disrespect nobody. But at the same time, I do my best into learning my craft. If I want to learn something, I'm gonna learn it to the best of its ability. Like I'm gonna ace it. Like I want to know everything about it, in and out, up and down, whatever the case is. And I want to say, let's see. Oh yeah. And then going into the empowerment, like with building relationships, I feel like you should build relationships and collaborations to better suit you and it help you out in the long run. You want to build your network by any means necessary, so it will help you. Period. The more you know, the more you grow. I mean, we should know that because we all got different walks of life and deal with different things. To where it's good to know people, it's good to know things, it's good to be educated about whatever you got going on. So with that being said, I'm gonna jump into the first question. I got a little cue cards here to keep me on track because I can get off track. So, um, fellas, what has been your best experience as it relates to empowerment? Zeno, you can go first. Rodney, flip a coin, however y'all want to do it.
uh, as far as my personal experience as it relates to empowerment, man, it's empowerment is one of those things where, as a black man, um, it sort of pulls from everywhere. You have to pull from everywhere. Um, my my personal empowerment comes from like my group, my circle, my friends, all the guys. Just encouraging one another, motivating each other, and building each other. Man, comes from just in life. When growing up, especially from the third ward area, a place where I guess we can get into it. Where black men may not be viewed as strong. A lot of times, in most cases, the black man is sometimes not present. Like for myself, growing up in a single parent home, and I found it really hard trying to figure out where do I get my empowerment, and it the only thing that you could do was go by example. The people that you had in your life that were positive and that were I felt were empowered, mimic them. That was to the best of my ability. And I think that's how I shaped myself into the man I am today by those examples set forth by those people. And we'll get more into it down the line, but that's my personal empowerment comes from that group of friends and the upbringing and examples that I had.
You made me forget the question, dude.
Relax.
Moderator.
They say, what is your experience with empowerment?
I think I can piggyback off of him a little bit. But the main thing for me and how I move, I would say it's circumstance. Sure enough, we come from the environment where, the Black man is kind of missing and the Black woman is the strong one, and, not to take away from the latter, but circumstance taught me how to go about doing things, or it simply told me that something needed to be done, right? No different than your introduction saying that as a man, you want to do something, you want to do it right, you want to learn everything about it, the ins and outs. And sure enough, the environment we grew up in, it didn't teach us that, but by circumstance, you learned that, by, need based. And so for me, it mostly comes from that, as well as the Black woman, I would say, is a key part. And that being mostly because same circumstance. My mom, my grandmother, my aunts, my cousins, all of those people that were close to me, they, whether they knew it or not, told me that something needed to be done as a man. And I took heed basically. So that's where my empowerment comes from mostly.
I can piggyback on both of y'all with that. I totally agree with both of y'all. Like it's a I ain't gonna say it's a sad issue, it's a sad situation, but at the same time, it's like we gotta have to change that like together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on us at this point to do something about that. You know what I'm saying? So getting to the next question, can you recall your first experiment of being empowered? I mean, is that what it said? Feeling empowered, yeah. Can you recall your first experience feeling empowered?
You want to take the lead on that?
You got it.
All right. For me, it's a weird story because it goes into what I do now as far as being a book dealer and eventually wanting to open a coffee shop, right? When I was younger, you guys remember the program Rabdar Gap, right?
Yeah.
All right. So when I was little, this had to be, I can't even remember the age, it was so long ago. But of course, it was a single parent household, right? And so it was around Christmas time, whether you read your books and the program gave you your money, it was in time for Christmas. And so me beforehand, I knew that. And my mom would probably be the only one that could, vouch for this story, but it was Christmas time. We had a small Christmas tree up and I knew that gifts needed to be under there. So I read every book I could read. I did every report, every summary. I got my money and I went bought gifts with that money, put them under that tree.
That's fire.
That was the first time for me.
That's fire, man. And it's so crazy because that's exactly what I was. That's how my first experience. It came from me getting my first job, and it's sort of strange because how there's this saying that Black men aren't loved properly until they have money, right? And it wasn't really that. It wasn't really being loved properly, but it's about feeling empowered. Like when you go and you get that first check, literally when you come home, you know, your mom was proud. You know, I was still living with my mom. I'm 16, 17. So, you know, my mom, she's proud of me, you know, proud to the point where it's like, you know, I raised this kid right. You know, he could have went and done anything out, you know, outside, because you know what's outside. But you know, here I am, bringing home my first check, and um, it also it made the people outside look at you differently as well. You know, it's like that feeling, man. It's I don't know. They just, you know, people respect you when you take care of the responsibilities. You know, when you take care, when you go and you create avenues for yourself to, you know, to provide. And it doesn't necessarily have to be to provide for anyone else, but to be able to provide for yourself and not have to ask anyone for anything, you know?
I can piggyback on both of y'all with this because my empowerment came when my last job. Um, I started from the gutter from my job, like at the bottom, and the moment that I became a part of management, from what the stuff that I had to do, the work, the hours, the blood, sweat, and tears that I got when I got it, I felt like, you know, I ain't say I made it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, the higher you get, the less you got to do and all that. But I want that type of person, like I said before, I want to learn everything about that job, everything about it, ins and outs. And when I got in that position, nobody wanted to show me anything. Like they didn't want to show me how to do it, how to walk it, how to talk it. So what I did, I watched everybody around me from different departments. I watched different leaders. I watched different CEOs. I watched different supervisors, and I learned from them on my own. And I started shaping what I wanted to be, you know, by watching them in my own little swag and, you know, in my own little way. Because you got to succeed. Like you got to find your own way to succeed, and they're not gonna let you do it, and they're gonna hold you back from doing it. And the more that I had my own walk, had my own swag, I did my own thing, and me doing that built a name for myself. Like, oh, is Ken here today? Well, can I talk to him because he, you know, does it better. Like, you know, they trying to figure out how this young black guy with no degree can run the whole business without, you know. I learned it. I did it for myself. It felt better when you do it for yourself and nobody handed it to you. I mean, anyway, to me, like
Respect.
it's not handed.
That's right. For
So
sure.
I, and that was like, you can't tell me nothing. Like I learned it the right way and I learned it the wrong way. So I see both ways. I know how to correct it. And I can check anybody when they come to that job. It ain't matter. You could be CEO, big dog. That's the wrong way to do it, brother. Oh, who are you? I'm so and so. Oh, well, I heard about you. I know you did. You know what I'm saying? Like I had that confidence. It actually builds confidence as well. Once you work hard to get something and you done it the right way, it builds confidence in yourself. And they hate a confident black man as well.
Yeah,
So
that's true empowerment.
So we're gonna transition because yeah, it gets really good after this. So we're gonna slide over to the leveraging. I want to say amongst various things such as, you know, our peer groups, or you know, you want to call it the culture nowadays. How everybody say the culture. You know, the culture is the new thing, or whatever. Um, Voting the perception of the black man, like if you would please share your insight on what personally feels get you to the translation, the perception of the black man, and how can we be more objective about the interpretation of that? So basically, like, you know, when you hear that, how do you feel about that when you hear the black man? Like I feel like that's like all caps every time I hear that, like the black man. Like I don't get it.
Man, man, listen, like you know, our culture, let's be real, our culture, like the woke aspect of our culture, they they when I hear the black man, I see all jokes, man. I don't see the reality. I don't see people being real about the black man. Uh, if we talking about the current climate, you know, the black man, you know, he wears a kufi, you know, he's super woke, and he thinks the white people are, you know, bad people, and you know what I mean. Like that stigma right now is what's on the table, you know. Um, but when me personally, when I see black men, I know it's not what people what's being said, right? I see beauty, man. Like I see like I can just I go straight to my friends, you know, and I see coolness, you know. I see self starters and guys who are you know, they family man. Either, you know, they love their family, or building a family. That's what I see. But when you draw it back to what the culture is saying about the black man, and what black man is, it's like, you know. So to be more objective to it, you know, I just feel like just knowing exactly, having different um that perspective that I just explained, having that view, uh my own understanding, and my own reality itself, it helps me to be objective. I mean, I know it's there are different areas of blackness across the board. Um, some, you know, even though a lot of times things are like put into that same um, category, we're all boxed in, and even though that's the case, like if one person does something, it's like, oh, you know, black man is right. But the reality is knowing what's outside the box. You know, that's what helps me maintain a level of objectivity.
All right, man. With me, when I hear that, I can't lie to you. I get triggered. To be honest with you, man. Like I'm super, super triggered, and for the most part, it's because, like, taken from Devron, on one aspect of it, being triggered, you have how the world views you, right? You know, when we go into corporate offices, or even when we're out in public, and maybe establishments where they don't expect to see black man, you know, there's a certain perception. And please don't be a big black man. You know what I mean? With a beard. It's like now you gotta, like, it's weird because as strong as you feel and as strong and as confident as you are, you have to downplay it like you're not that, just so someone else is not afraid of you, right? But the main part that triggers me with that, and what I'm drawn to, is the black woman. When I hear black man, I instantly
Okay.
think black woman and the attack on the black man, right?
We're
And
going there. Okay.
you could easily denounce it by saying, oh, she's not talking about me, right? We all see the memes and the dialogue on a daily where they basically talking about no good people, no good black men. And to yourself, you or me, myself, I would say, yeah, they're not talking about me, right? But I'm not gonna say, you know, I'm conceited or self-centered or none of that, but I want them to talk about me, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not being narcissistic, but as far as a narrative and how big the black woman's voice is, I want you to talk about me, not necessarily me, but me. You guys, you, like you said, man, you're a hardworking brother, family man, all of this stuff. Talk about me, and don't do it when uh, somebody that looks like me gets shot down, you know, killed by the police, or, you know, gang violence or whatever. Like, don't say you love me then, because even then you're not talking about me.
Mhm.
You know, and then even from that, it goes straight into talking about the black men that take those lives when it comes to gang violence and whatever else. And now you're back on somebody that's not me. And so those things there, that's what I think about, man. Like, honestly, I want the narrative to be like better or more realistic. Not just better, but more realistic. Because I want to be realistic in saying that, sure enough, I know some dudes that ain't no good, you know, or, you know, in the world, like, we do make ourselves look bad sometimes. And I say ourselves because as a true black man, you realize that you're a part of that. And it's a part, like, you have to be empowered enough to change that. So you got to accept that. We out here looking bad, not them. We looking bad. You know, I'm a part of that. So for me, those things, you know, I think about the most, you know, when it comes to that, because I feel like I was saying with the loudness of Black women, not in a negative way, but the power it entails. It's like I want those voices to speak about the good in Black men. Like, I don't see enough of that. You know, if there's a Black entertainer or athlete, we more so focus on the women outside of their race that they date more than the Black women that they do date. You know, at the same time, we can say realistically, okay, let's talk about it all, but you don't even want to talk about it all. You just want to talk about the negative part. And for me, it's always triggered. I had somebody I was dealing with one time, nothing serious, but it triggered me to see them out loud on social media speak about, you know, speak negatively about Black men as if they didn't know me. You see what I'm saying? And I know for a fact that they had brothers, they had a father, they had all these things. And here you talking about how incompetent Black men are. You know what I mean? And so just hearing that, man, it triggers me to the
Man,
most.
I I can fully relate. I see it a lot, you know. Um, I have somebody in my life personally where uh, I went to defend against another Black man, um, and I've seen that same meme, that same topic regurgitated by women that I love, and I do feel I do get triggered, if I'm being honest. I feel away. I do feel away because I know that they know without a doubt I'm coming to defend, protect, their honor. Um, and when I do see it, it's just it's a constant. It's like man, I really don't want to go there yet. As far as where it comes from, you know,
That could be
it's
another.
how it.
We can do that one. Don't I know where you're going with it. We can definitely get to that one.
Okay, all right,
I like it.
yes.
um, I want to say my perception on everything about it is like I went back before about strength in numbers. Like I said, to go back to us with this whole change, and we can't. One dude can't do it. Two men can't do it. We really got to get together and do it ourselves. I'm starting to see that slowly, but it really has to be like a full on movement. It can't just be like a wave. It got to be a full on constant movement. Like you got to get pushed through. Like you got to let it echo. I want Mars to hear the movement. Like, you know what I'm saying? It got to really be pushed by us, and it shouldn't take like tragedies for that to happen. It should just be, this is what we want. This is a change that we want for us. Cause you gotta understand, like we kind of like almost out the pitch. It's about the next generation and generation after that. You understand what I'm saying? So we setting them up for whatever we want. What we thinking now, we setting them up for that. I'm a father. I have boys. And I don't want my boys to feel compromised growing up because, as well as Black men, we always feel compromised every time we step out the house. I don't care where we go to the grocery store. Like he said, big Black man, tatted up, bow-legged. Stereotype. Oh, he gonna attack me, or he look aggressive, or he look unapproachable. Like I like that stereotype is. I'm done with that. It's old. At this point in my life, it's old to me. I'm sorry. Like if I could walk up to anybody to speak, I feel like anybody could do the same thing to me. It should be before you leave your house. Like, you weren't born with hatred. You weren't born upset. Like, you learned that. You had to learn this about me. I wasn't born that way. I wasn't raised that way. So I feel like, whatever your culture is, like, you have the right to pick your culture and where you view people. So that's in your heart. That's what you want to do. Anybody, men, women, cat, dog, whatever. Like, we have to set that standard for ourselves so we can be at a high regard, because if we don't respect ourselves, nobody is, like, period. So, they quick to say, oh, y'all, they killing each other again. Oh, they doing it again. Oh, they. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, ain't no they. It's us. We're humans, just like you. You know what I'm saying? So, is that like, has there ever been a time you felt compromised?
Always, man. What do you mean? Like, and the reason I say that is uh, because to me, I don't want to speak for nobody else for me, right? It's like you're you're diverse. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're in a bubble. You know all kinds of people, you've been all kinds of places. And as a black man, it's like you're also magnetic. So not you didn't just go there, you really went there. And you don't just know those people, you know those people. So you're able to be in these different arenas and still be who you are. Now, that compromising part comes when it's like, just as a black man and being solid and all of this stuff, you can become involved because, that's just the power of the black man. Like Devron said, touched on going to bat for a black woman. Just the fact that he knows a black woman and loves a black woman, that puts me in a position. You know what I mean? That puts me in a spot where I may have to do something and I don't even think twice about it, to be honest with you. So it is compromising, but at the same time, it's what you do. If somebody came and approached somebody you love, you don't think twice. You know what I mean? You don't think twice about that, but it does put you in a compromising position. And so for me, I feel like just as a black man and the black man that I feel like you're always there. You wake up there. Like you literally wake up compromised.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because here you are, literally a superhero, but the world don't see you that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so how do you wake up and start your day and move about your day, saving the world and not be looked at as a superhero? How do you do that?
It's tough. It's tough, buddy. That's tough.
Man, I'm gonna throw a curveball. The only time that I really, I agree with everything you said, Rodney. Knowing you are something like a genius or something like, art, who you are as a black man is just different, and you know it, right? And with me knowing this, right? The only time that I've truly felt compromised is when I had to give myself a reality check. Um, I gotta say it. So there was a time when I became a part of that fraternity of college graduate, black and educated, and I started to be a real critic of my own self, my own people, and I have to say, it took a lot. It took a lot of just engaging with more of my friends and my family, and just trusting and living around people that I grew up with, man, and knowing that I'm also a superhero to them, right? But I was looking at a lot of the negativity in our culture as if it was not me, right? And I knew also that to be agent of change, it would require my dynamic to change as far as how I view myself, just being real. I don't know if you all see where I'm going. I just feel like on the time I really felt, because I feel like I could defeat anything I could defeat it, no matter what it is. I've been, how you always wait for that opportunity. Like, man, if that would have happened to me, I know it doesn't because it's defeated already. But one thing that I really had to defeat was that feeling of being compromised by my own self, man, my own blackness, and having to conquer that. And looking, hindsight, I just know that as a black men in total, like we become better when we face that part. Like, do we feel safe around other black men? And to this day, at this point in my life, I can truly say that's when I feel my safest.
That's good there. That's real good. Like honestly, I didn't think about it that way. Um, I want to say like he's like Rodney said, man. You step out the house, you feel compromised. It don't matter what you're doing. I remember I can't say like even in different experiences. I want to say as far as being compromised, I've also I was going back to how I say my confidence. When you build your confidence, how that's a threat. I can walk into a room at work and the room gets silent. I'm the only black dude, nothing but Hispanics or whites or whatever you call it. I walk in the room gets silent because they're threatened by my confidence. So it always be a time to where I'm like he said, I ain't on no high horse. I ain't trying to be all extra and the Superman, and I'm not, I think I'm here. No, it's just my confidence. I know my job. I know who I am. I know myself. Period. And you can't take that away from me. Nobody up here can take that away from me because I built that within myself. I distill that confidence within myself from the ground up. That was a seed that I planted. And now it's a 40-foot tree. Know what I'm saying? So you can knock it down if you want to, but it ain't gonna be easy. You have to come with it. So with that being said, I want to say like, in transition, like I want to say like I'm as a black man, I'm a proud black man. Unapologetic. I don't care. I'm proud of who I am. My skin and my race, my ethnicity. I'm proud of it all. Whatever come with it. You know what I'm saying? So I love my culture. I love my brothers. I love my sisters. And but there's also another catch to it. Like what do you guys feel is the I want to say the power of the untamed black man?
What do you mean?
I want to say like untamed, like how we can get like ain't got like eight. You got it's always been that one friend or one homeboy, somebody that just no guidance, no just raw, straight raw, just
Oh, the
in its raw form, like brown sugar.
untapped potential. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's straight untamed. Like he ain't tame. He ain't got no direction. He just out there. He just, those are the people that, one bad apple could spoil a bunch. He always say that. It can only take one person to mess up a whole culture. So like it always be that one person. Like how y'all feel like what's the power of an untamed black man? Like what do you feel like? Trying to figure out the best way to put it. In layman's terms, in our terms, like the best way to, because now that I think about it,
That that
yeah. Now I'm trying to figure out how can we say this in a real direct way.
that
I'm trying to be real direct.
it reminds me of the a Tupac, man. It's like a famous, I wish I knew what platform it was on. But
Yes.
it's a famous quote. He says, certain men at a certain age, they stop being politically aggressive, like, getting their point across. And, the untamed, like the untamed black man is the one that's going to change the world. He put an age on it. He was saying that men in their 30s, you don't see men in their 30s still, protesting and rioting. And we know from recent history with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that men of all age, size, it didn't matter. They were in the streets together, shoulder to shoulder, ready to bring action, protest, peacefully and violently, if it came to it, in order to get that whatever we saw for justice, get that across, right? But then you talk about you talk about somebody who literally gets up every day. I think myself, me personally, I feel like I think I'm like very untamed, right? When it comes to being unapologetic about blackness, like I think I go, to the next level, right? In fact, before this aired, before this started, uh I get a message from my cousin Charlotte. She is, do you guys still have me?
Uh, your picture went out. There you go.
Okay, so she sends me a message like, hey, I love you as a black man. I just want to reach out and tell you that I love you, right? As a black woman, but be careful because you are sometimes you're so passionate about. She knows, like, I'm passionate about being unapologetic and being a black man and being for my culture, that my points may get mixed up. To hear that from a black woman, it helped me. That took a weight off me, took a slight edge off, right? But I think my ceiling, I think the ceiling that was for me, I've already shattered it, because we already know the ceiling for black men. And me personally, I've reached that age where um, I've reached the age where they say, we wouldn't reach, especially out from the neighborhood that we're from. Um, Educated. I'm a businessman. I feel like everything that I've ever tried to do, um, I've accomplished it, right? So when I put all of that into perspective, right? When it comes to, I feel like I defend black culture because I don't know. I feel like maybe it's my dark skin. I don't know. It's a different part of the blackness where you just feel black. It's like, man, like, hey, I'm a defend it no matter what. So if it's right, if it's wrong, I'm going to defend it. And I can say the wherever we're trying to reach, when you have that untamed black man, untamed, I feel like just black people who are untamed, who are ready to get there um, to the finish line. When we all come together, man, I'm telling you, um, we'll get there wherever we're trying to go. A lot of people say, oh, it's going to take this X amount of years for us to come together collectively and to, reach these certain, heights. If it's economic, if it's political, even if it's a scholar, it's everyone has this say on when we'll get there. If we get there I feel like we'll get there quicker than what people project, and it's only because of that untamed black man and black woman.
Facts. I'm with you.
That kind of sent me a few different places, right? It first made me think about how, as a black man and black culture, we have to account for everybody. Like if somebody busts out a window in Seattle during a protest, we have to account for that. You know what I mean? And so something as simple as that is minute, but just think about, if it's a raid somewhere and a bunch of black faces pop up, like, oh, we bust him in a sting. We like, oh man, they got us looking crazy. Other cultures, they only account for their family. You know what I mean? Like, and not their entire family, their immediate family, like who live in my house.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about the strength of the black man and unknowingly having to account for somebody he never ever met. You know what I mean? Like, I never met this man, but it's like I'm empowered to do something for anybody that feels that way or anybody that lives that way. And we feel like it tarnishes us in a way if we don't. Meanwhile, other races can have a slew of serial killers in the history of the world, and it doesn't tarnish them one bit. You know what I mean? Like, that to me, that speaks to the strength of the Black man, right? And that's the first thing I thought about. Secondly, you said untamed, I thought of some of my cousins that got tats in their faces and they went whatever. Like that's where my mind went, right? But in that same arena, it makes me think of the book, The Spook Who Sat by the Door. I'm not sure if you read it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But Freeman, who was a leader, and this goes to what my point is, and when I think about that, as far as untamed Black men needing a good leader, Freeman recruited untamed Black men. If you read the book, he recruited untamed Black men. And now, when I say that, these guys, if you read the book, were capable of everything. And he knew as a leader that they not only were they capable, but he knew how to bring out the best in them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an artist, I need you to do this. If you're a fighter, I need you to lead this team. You know, if you're this way, I need you over here. You know, and that's all a part of getting organized. And as a Black man, feeling like we have to encompass every Black man and every Black woman and every Black child. We have to think for everybody. But when I think of the untamed Black men, I think of us being leaders. I think of there needing to be a leader, somebody that could point to that man or know that man enough to say, hey, you're good at this. I'm going to help you get better and master that. Because as a unit, we're going to need that. We're going to need that from you. You know, I have, like I said, I have family in that regard. And to me, as a leader, I have to figure out what best suits them. Like I see their strong suits, and it's my job to say, hey, it's this program. You know, you need to sign up for it. That's you. That's all you. You know, and so as the untamed Black man, like Devron said, the potential is limitless. But we have the capacity to be experts at anything. You know what I mean? Like it's literally there, and the DNA says so. It's not only you can dunk a ball or run really fast. Like that's not the only thing. Your brain capacity says you have the potential to be an expert at everything. Mm-hmm. Now the leader and the untamed Black man says, hey, you're an expert at this. I see you can do that. You can jump really high, but hey, the way your brain works, I need you to run this kids organization. You're really good with kids. You know what I mean? Or you're really good over here. And so it makes me think about leaders. When I think of untrained Black men, I think about leaders, you know, even Tupac, bringing up Tupac, and just thinking of his age. He was that untamed Black man. But I can't think of the leader that stepped in and said, hey, all of the rest down, you're an expert right here. You know, or we're going to protect you enough to say, hey, let's use you here because this is where you're most effective. You know, I hate the fact that we have to encompass everybody because for some it dilutes the solution, but we wouldn't be who we are if we didn't think that way. True. You know, it's automatically in the DNA. We're figuring out, we're not trying to figure out how to make it. We're trying to figure out how the whole team is going to make it. And it's like, you don't even think twice about that. That's how you were raised. And nobody even told you that. Like nobody said, hey man, we got the whole team on. No, you woke up and that's just what it was. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking to myself, nobody ever said, hey, we're going to all do this. Like we're going to do it for everybody. No, I woke up and I wanted to do something and I wanted my people to come with me. And that's just been my attitude every second. Right? So that's what I think about, man.
Gratitude is my attitude. I'm with that, brother. The common denominator for me through all this, like I said, if y'all ever notice how we speaking about it, a leader, Tupac, whatever, everybody has 100% confidence within themselves because you got to have that, period. And for me being confident in myself, it trickles down to Rodney, trickles down to Dev. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think about it. You got 3 Black individuals got 100% confidence in each like in themselves. Who can be stopped? Like we can't be stopped. We could steamroll a bunch of stuff. Us 3 young Black men take over. because of our
Right.
confidence in ourselves.
And I wanna further the convo. So when it comes to representation, right, of leadership, me personally, um it's I don't think it's um a reason why there are no leaders outside of the fact that it is I guess it's supposed to be that way. Like it feels like there's some sort of control somewhere that we don't see, right? Like when I think about the childhood and I think about examples of leadership, the first thing that I was even thinking about was like the Million Man March, right? And it's like, what came of it? You know what I'm saying? Not to be negative. What I'm saying is something is in the way, right? And like Ken, how you said earlier, it takes us all getting together, doing this, talking like this more often, to go there. But I think it's I find it strange, man. I do find it strange how all of us are natural born, we're natural born leaders. The three of us talking now easily can see natural born leaders. But what stops us? What stops us?
Just to, I don't want to say piggyback off that, but what that took me to is, you said Million Man March, right?
Yeah.
And for somebody like me, it was a bit different as far as leader. I think about Mr. Prince.
Of course.
Think about Coach Mitchell.
Of course. Mr.
Uh,
Pope.
Mr. Pope. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
and it's really weird that I think about these guys, and they were like the only black men. Like, it's like where you
Outside of
wherever we
TV.
looked, it's like, sure enough, we know now in hindsight, and sure we knew then, but we didn't know how to place it, that black men were missing. And the black men that were in place were key figures.
Man.
All we needed was more to be in place. That's why it stopped. Mr. Pope was that was elementary.
Yeah.
Which means somebody in middle school and high school should have took over and led us, in whatever direction.
Like Chris Knight was for sure in high school for me.
You know what I mean?
Clear standout.
Exactly.
But
Somebody
when I
like
look
that.
when I look back at who took or who else, like I feel like even like when you speak of like the Mr. Princes, it's like, all right, that was clearly an example, right, of direct leadership. Somebody that was for sure resource for an entire neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
That at that point it grows, or it should, and it doesn't.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. And that goes back to me saying that, we always think on a grander scale, and just thinking now there should be a Mr. Prince in every neighborhood, Mr. Poker, a Coach Mitchell in every school, and from that point on, or Mr. Knight, it's like you need somebody that seen just enough of the world to lead you out, above that.
Right.
And we find ourselves in situations where we not only exceeded expectations, but we've gone further than the people that were in front of us.
Yeah.
And they wasn't necessarily black men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, being raised by a black woman and black women, I've already went past that, and the black men that I know, they're looking at me like, go, because
right,
they're in the same spot that they were when I was a kid.
Right.
And so what you need is somebody at every level say, hey, this is what you need to know here. All right, go. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you don't have that, then I don't want to necessarily say you don't reach your potential, but what I've learned now, and I'm pretty sure you guys can attest to this, is you're finding yourselves in an arena where you have to learn it yourself. It's like trial by
Yes.
error,
Yes.
and as a black man, I'm cool with that because you willing to go hard for whatever, anything you believe in, but wasting my time. You know
Takes
what
a
I mean?
lot of time. Yes.
Wasting my time.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to see the moon, and nobody ever taught me how to uh plant a seed,
Yes.
grow a tree. Like, okay,
Yeah.
now I gotta go sit here,
Exactly.
research this, plant this seed, make sure I water the grass. But I'm really meant to be on the moon right now.
Yes.
So now I gotta do this. And it's like you have to say to yourself, all right, let me do this. And by the time you look up, you as a black man, you've encompassed everybody, and now you're dealing with situations that's taken away from you going to the moon, and now you're helping other people plant seeds. Now you're Coach Mitchell. Now you're Mr. Pope, and it's like, oh man, I'm supposed to be on the moon right now.
My same sentiment, man. Same sentiment. It's and it makes me feel good, in a way because we know we know now, and we're talking, and people are listening, right? So they know now, right? And then we can inspire that same behavior, even though we know the moon is where we were supposed to be, or we're supposed to be right now. Um, we're going to get to the moon. We know it. We're going to get to the moon. but not only that, we know that when we get to the moon, there that information to get there is already in place. It's already planted, to the people that are coming up behind us. They won't have to worry about getting to the moon. They got to worry about getting somewhere else.
Exactly.
Man, fellas, I love y'all. I love y'all dearly. I feel like
I
we
love
can
you too, man.
like we can do this all day. For
Yeah.
time purposes, we're gonna skip a couple. Kind of get into like what is your testament that you can get from today's show? Like, what do you gather? How do you feel about just, the whole overall experience and the things we talked about and your mindset on it?
For me, and this is no secret to Devron as well, but for me, it's conversation. As a black man, the talks are like minimal, and usually we not getting together under these circumstances, just to have a conversation and not about sports or women or, whatever, but
Yes.
progressive conversation about anything amongst black men to me is a form of building. You know what I mean? We could have a talk about how to mount a TV. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it could be something as simple as mounting. Hey, let's get together, and from this point on, we gonna know this. As black men, ain't nobody gonna be able to say that black man can't mount a TV. So a conversation like this is just as important. Like it makes me think of this project that we're working on, where we're basically building a house. And this guy comes in, he's an expert at what he does. He does flooring. And Devron knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But we sit there, and he's not a black man. I'll make that point clear.
Yeah.
He's not a black man. But me and Devron sat there, watched him do what he did as an expert, and without question, we followed behind and did the job. And so for something like that, it's important for black men to get together to do things that are progressive and productive in order to move forward. Because now I know I feel this way. I'm not sure about Devron, but I can start a business on flooring now. Like,
Man, you
you
hear
know
me?
what I mean? Like just off that, I feel like I can do it.
Yeah.
And so with something like this on empowerment, I feel like, not only do I feel empowered or have a better understanding about myself and how other guys like me feel, I feel like I have what it takes to continue to empower others. You know what I mean? And so that's what I got from this talk today.
Yeah, man. It's similar for me. It's similar only because it just, this talk has been healthy. you know. And I appreciate it. I appreciate just having the opportunity to just talk amongst Black men without issue, right? And it's healthy. I thank y'all for inviting me to have the talk. And I do see it going forward. More of it happening amongst our friends, even with people that we don't know. Because like I was saying earlier, with my own self check, being compromised, how would I address Black men? We know we have that. That's us. We not friendly. We not, when it comes to other Black men, we like, yo, whatever. I ain't friendly. But this conversation here, it helps. It helps. I do feel empowered. That I can reach out to Black men, because we all have the same thing in common. That Blackness, the Black experience, we have that in common. So, even though I may not know you, I feel comfortable with saying, "Hey, man, what's up? How are you?" And not only that, just being able to communicate and say, even if I don't get the response that I want, but effectively communicating and getting to an end result of empowerment. So, yeah, man, thank y'all for having me.
Well, I appreciate y'all for coming on, man. I thinking about this with Tiffany, man. Like, really, it was like, who can I think? And the first two people that came to my mind, she asked me, I think Rodney Zeno be good for that. She like, why them two? I say, we have talks like this all the time. Every time we get together, we talk like this all the time. And you don't realize it. Every time we link up, it's like we have a good deep talk. We like, and we need to talk like this some more. Like, this is what is refreshing. Like, you don't feel like you got that burden on your back no more, because you don't feel like you're the only person thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to find like-minded people nowadays, and to find them is like rare, and it's like it's a good feeling to sit and really kick back, and it ain't nothing, too much. You can really like talk and get it out there and have the same vision, because a lot of us don't have vision either. So me listening to you and your vision, I could be like, man, our visions match. We can be on the same page, on the same wave, and do the same thing. And like you said, we can make it to the moon. We're gonna stay on the moon, and we're gonna start building on the moon. We just got to get everybody on that same wave. Like, that's the progress that we are right now. Get everybody in the same loop. Everybody on the same page. Everybody, us. It ain't talking like Black people. It's just Black men. Like, us Black people, that's another topic, because that's different. But us Black men, we we got to be the backbone of that. And we got to get ourselves together first, get ourselves in check first before we can start pushing the camaraderie of the whole culture. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
That being said, guys, this is ending the empowerment series for Tiffany. So the next episode will be the power of the Black woman. And she's gonna have her guest Bliss Thornton on. She's gonna run that show, and they're gonna talk about that. I'm sure that's gonna be good, because just like us, how we have our not issues, but our concerns about what's going on, they have their concerns as well, because they deal with the same thing, just in a different light. Because you already know women look down upon it anyway, so they got a little harder fight than we do, just period. So it should be next Sunday on the 18th, 4:00 p.m. So be sure y'all to check in, my brothers, Rodney, Fats, Zeno. I love y'all, man. I'm gonna try to do this again. We definitely got to do another episode. I'm gonna figure out the topic. I'm gonna run it by y'all, and we gonna get it out there. We're gonna get it going. So I love you boys, man. Everybody keep talking. Have a blessed Sunday, and let's get it.
All right. Well, y'all too, man.